Breaking news. Warships are now on a collision course in the Luzon Strait, a narrow but vital waterway that has become the epicenter of global tension. The world's attention is riveted on this flashpoint, where the stakes could not be higher. The United States and the Philippines, long-standing allies, are confronting China in a dramatic show of force. Their warships sail side by side, a powerful symbol of unity and resolve in the face of growing threats. Here, on the churning, unpredictable waters of the Bashi Channel, the crisis is no longer just a diplomatic standoff. It is a terrifying reality, unfolding in real time as the world watches with bated breath. Sleek, modern destroyers from the US and Philippine navies now face off against a formidable Chinese flotilla. The tension is palpable, with every ship bristling with advanced weaponry and every crew member on high alert. The Luzon Strait has become the world's most dangerous chessboard, a strategic choke point where every move could tip the balance between peace and war. In command centers far from the front lines, every maneuver is watched, every signal analyzed, and every decision weighed with the utmost caution. The margin for error is razor thin, the fate of nations hangs in the balance. Military leaders and strategists know that a single miscalculation could unleash consequences felt around the globe. China's sweeping territorial claims, marked by its controversial 9-dash line, now directly clash with the US-Philippines Defense Treaty. The lines on the map have become lines in the sand. This confrontation is not sudden. It is the result of years of rising tension, aggressive maneuvers, and unresolved disputes. Each incident has brought the region closer to the brink. The Philippines, now backed more openly than ever by Washington, is pushing back, no longer willing to cede its waters or its sovereignty. Their resolve is clear for all to see. The world watches, anxious and uncertain, as global stock markets flicker and supply chains brace for disruption. The economic impact of conflict here would ripple across continents. Diplomats scramble for solutions, racing against time to prevent a miscalculation that could spark a catastrophic war. Every conversation, every negotiation is fraught with urgency. In the Luzon Strait, geopolitics has become a very real and immediate danger. The proximity of rival fleets leaves little room for error or misunderstanding. The roar of fighter jets overhead and the silent, watchful gaze of sailors through binoculars tell a story of vigilance, tension, and the ever-present threat of escalation. Across the globe, people gather around screens, their faces etched with worry. The world is truly holding its breath, hoping for peace, but fearing the worst. What happens next in these contested waters could change everything, altering the course of history and the fate of millions in a single moment. The Luzon Strait is a showcase of modern naval power. On one side, China's navy, new, bristling with missiles, patrolling with resolve. Opposite, US destroyers and Philippine frigates, united in purpose. Overhead, American Super Hornets roar, challenging China's claims. But this isn't just about warships, it's about people. Local fishermen, once free to roam, now fear for their livelihoods as their boats are dwarfed by military vessels. Their fishing grounds have become a militarized zone. Anxiety is constant, as a single mistake could ignite conflict. The world's media captures every tense maneuver. For those on the water, this is no game. It's a daily struggle for survival. The stakes are as real as the waves beneath them. The Luzon Strait was once a peaceful trade route and fishing ground, but China's sweeping 9-dash line claim has redrawn the map, sparking conflict. In 2016, an international tribunal invalidated most of China's claims, but Beijing rejected the ruling and built military outposts on disputed reefs. The Philippines, turning back to its US ally, revived the Mutual Defense Treaty. Now, even a water cannon blast could trigger a US response. The standoff is a clash of ambitions. China's quest for dominance versus a US-Philippines alliance defending international law. The Luzon Strait, once a symbol of connection, is now a front line in a global struggle. Two visions for Asia's future collide here. The world's rules are being tested on these waters. The powder keg is primed. For Filipino fishermen like Mang Rene, the crisis is personal. Decades-old fishing traditions are shattered as Chinese ships chase them from their own waters. Livelihoods are vanishing. Families struggle as catches shrink. The sea, once a source of life, is now a source of fear. Fishermen face harassment, water cannons, shadowing, threats. These are acts of intimidation, not war, but the scars run deep. Yet resilience grows. Fishermen organize, document harassment, and demand justice. They want only the right to fish in their own waters, as international law allows. Their struggle is a stark reminder behind every headline are real people fighting for survival. The world must not forget them. Their courage is a quiet defiance. The human cost of this standoff is immense. Their voices demand to be heard. The US-Philippines alliance has transformed, driven by the South China Sea threat. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement allows US forces to build up Philippine bases, especially in northern Luzon. New radar systems and extended runways now dot the landscape, turning quiet provinces into strategic front lines. Joint military drills have grown in scale and complexity, now simulating island defense and anti-ship strikes. The Philippines is acquiring new missile systems, creating a credible deterrent. China's once unmatched advantage is fading. The alliance now signals any aggression will come at a high cost. The power balance is shifting. The Luzon Strait is no longer an easy target. The stakes for China are higher than ever. The region is on edge. This is the heart of the standoff. The Luzon Strait is a global lifeline. 1/3 of world trade passes through these waters, connecting Asia to the world. Oil, gas, and goods all funnel through this narrow passage. Any disruption would send shockwaves through the global economy. Shipping costs would soar. Supply chains would falter. Militarily, the strait is a gateway for China's navy to the Pacific and a key point for any action against Taiwan. For the US and its allies, keeping the strait open is non-negotiable. Freedom of navigation is at stake. If China controls the Luzon Strait, it could threaten other vital waterways. The US presence here is about more than defending the Philippines. It's about defending the global order. The world's prosperity depends on these waters staying free. That's why the world is watching. The Luzon Strait is a classic security dilemma, a narrow stretch of water that has become a flashpoint for great power competition. Its strategic location makes it a vital artery for global trade and military movement, drawing the attention of major powers. Here, every move to increase security is seen as a threat by the other side, fueling a relentless cycle of escalation and counter-escalation. Each side believes it is acting defensively, yet their actions are perceived as provocations. US-Philippines joint patrols are met with an increase in Chinese warships. In turn, China's assertive response triggers even more allied deployments. The waters grow ever more crowded, and the tension rises with each maneuver. The risk of miscalculation is dangerously high. A single collision, a misunderstood signal, or an aggressive maneuver could spark a conflict that neither side truly wants. China's gray zone tactics, Coast Guard harassment, water cannons, and even lasers blur the line between peace and open conflict, making it difficult to know when a red line has been crossed. These ambiguous actions are designed to be deniable, forcing other nations to make a difficult choice. Escalate the situation, or risk appearing weak by backing down. The nightmare scenario is always present, a deadly incident that triggers the US-Philippines Defense Treaty, pulling more countries into a wider conflict. Deterrence is vital to prevent aggression, but so is dialogue. Without communication, misunderstandings can spiral out of control. Open communication and active diplomacy are the only real ways to avoid disaster. Building trust, even in small steps, can make all the difference. The challenge is clear. Be strong enough to deter war, yet wise and flexible enough to prevent it from ever starting. It's a delicate balance that demands constant vigilance. Every day in the Luzon Strait is a dance on a knife's edge, where a single misstep could have global consequences. The world watches and hopes for balance, for leaders to choose restraint over recklessness. The stakes could not be higher. In this perilous dance, the future of peace in the region, and perhaps the world, hangs in the balance. China's playbook in the Luzon Strait is layered, relentless, and quietly transformative. What unfolds here is not a conventional battle, but a slow-motion campaign that reshapes the region's reality day by day. The so-called cabbage strategy is at the heart of this approach. China surrounds contested islands and reefs with concentric layers of Navy warships, Coast Guard cutters, and vast armadas of fishing boats, many of them operating as maritime militia. This overwhelming presence makes it nearly impossible for rival claimants to access these waters, all without a single shot being fired. Over time, this constant activity normalizes China's presence. What was once disputed slowly becomes accepted as Chinese territory, simply because their ships are always there, patrolling, fishing, and enforcing their rules. Next comes lawfare. China passes sweeping domestic laws that claim vast stretches of sea as their own, then deploys the Coast Guard to enforce these new rules. This blurs the legal lines, making it harder for other nations to challenge China's actions in international courts. Information warfare is the final layer. State-controlled media broadcasts a steady stream of stories framing China as the rightful owner, the United States as a meddling outsider, and the Philippines as a pawn caught in the middle. This shapes public opinion at home and abroad, muddying the waters of truth. The ultimate goal is clear: to change the facts on the water, confuse the legal landscape, and win the battle of narratives. By shifting boundaries and sowing doubt, China hopes to make its claims irreversible. This is a war without bullets, but the consequences are very real. Fishermen lose their livelihoods, coast guards face daily risks, and regional stability is threatened. The world must recognize these tactics for what they are: a sophisticated campaign to change the status quo without open conflict. In this struggle, perception is as important as power. The battle is fought not just on the waves, but in the minds of people and policymakers worldwide. China's strategy is slow, steady, and difficult to counter. The pressure never lets up, forcing others to constantly react. The game is far from over. The outcome will shape the future of the region, and perhaps the world. Amid the standoff, the real story is human resilience. Fishermen refuse to abandon their ancestral waters, risking everything for their way of life. Communities organize, demanding their voices be heard in Manila and Washington. The crisis has united the Philippines, forging a new sense of national purpose. The fight is for more than territory. It's for the future of international order. Will might make right, or will rules prevail? The Luzon Strait is a test for the world. Strength and deterrence are needed, but so is relentless diplomacy. Peace requires sharing the sea, not dividing it. The hope. This standoff is a wake-up call, not a prelude to war. The world stands at a crossroads. The choice is peace or peril.